खुश आमदीद। और अब वक्त है कि मैं आपको मिलाऊं अपनी आज की मेहमान से। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है, एवॉन रिडले आज की मेरी मेहमान है और हम उन्हें जानते हैं एक ब्रिटिश जर्नलिस्ट के तौर पर, एक ऐसी बरतानवी सहाफ़ी जिन्होंने तालिबान की हिरासत में कुछ अरसा गुजारने के बाद इस्लाम कबूल किया और बहुत अच्छी तरह से इस्लाम के असूलों और तरीक़ों पर अमल कर रही हैं और ज़िंदगी गुजार रही हैं। और उसके साथ साथ जो बहुत ही खूबसूरत पहलू उनकी ज़िंदगी का एक और है वो ये है कि ह्यूमन राइट्स कैंपेनर भी आप हैं और पैट्रन है ऑफ केज प्रिजनर्स। मेरे साथ हैं। हेलो एवॉन।
Hello.
How are you doing?
Fine. I always am when I come to Pakistan.
Yeah, and thank you so much and very warm welcome here in my show.
Thank you.
Okay, Evan, let's talk about this very big accident or incident of your life, the one that changed you, this transformation.
7 years ago this month, I was captured by the Taliban after sneaking into Afghanistan during the build-up to the war, the invasion, and was held for 10 terrifying days, and they were terrifying days for me, although my captors treated me with great respect and courtesy. It was still a frightening time, and then they released me after I had given an undertaking that I would read the Quran and study Islam on my return to the UK. They held on to other Westerners, but they did let me go, and I kept my promise.
Okay. Okay, Evan, while you were entering in those areas where you were not allowed to and you were not given any visa, I mean, you were expecting all this, I mean, you were not afraid, you were not terrorized because of all the circumstances and the image of the Taliban, which we all have?
Oh, I was terrified of the Taliban. I didn't intend on getting captured, but I did operate as an undercover journalist and had done several risky jobs before, and this one actually risk-wise didn't seem as high as some other things that I've done. I was wearing the all-enveloping burqa and was in a perfect disguise to be able to move around Afghanistan freely. The one thing that I hadn't counted on was a rogue donkey. And I got on this animal and it just bolted, and that led to a series of almost comical events, and I ended up falling off and being arrested. Okay, so while you were arrested by Talibans, I mean, we have heard a lot about Talibans, the international media especially. They are so afraid of Talibans. I don't know, I mean, what they think of them. How you feel about them? You've spent 11 days with them. What do you think of Taliban? Who are they? Well, I was terrified. I just thought George Bush and Tony Blair said that they're the most evil, brutal regime in the world. They hate women. They're going to execute me. And I had convinced myself that this would have been the outcome. And so on the grounds that you don't kiss the hand that slaps you, I decided to be the prisoner from hell. And I just thought, you know, I want this over and done with as quickly as possible. And so I spat at them, I swore at them, I was rude and obnoxious. I just wanted my ordeal to be over. Either let me go or kill me, just end it. And they were quite mystified by this behaviour, and they kept saying, why are you so angry? You know, you were our guest, you were our sister. And I'm thinking, why are they behaving like this? It was only at the point that they released me and I walked back into Pakistan that I realised they actually had been honourable in their behaviour and that they had treated me with respect and courtesy. I wish I could have said the same about myself, because my behaviour was quite bad by comparison.
Okay, they asked you to accept Islam while you were there, and you refused. While it was a very good deal, I mean, you could have taken the opportunity of accepting it there and then you can just walked away.
If I thought it would have got me out, I would have said, yes, you know, where do I sign? But I didn't trust them, and I thought it was a trick question. And I thought if I say, yes, I'll accept Islam, that they would have accused me of being insincere and fickle, and I thought if I refuse, they'll say, how dare you offend us in this way, and either way I would be in serious trouble. So I said, look, I can't make this life-changing decision as a prisoner, but if you let me go, I promise I will read the Quran and study Islam.
Yeah, so it was not that you were just impressed by their behavior and by the way they treated you, but it was actually the true teachings of Islam. So you read Quran, that inspired you actually to accept Islam.
Well,
what was the best thing? What was the point when you realized that, yes, this is the point, I must take it?
It took 2 years of reading and studying, and what really impressed me, and this will resonate with Pakistan people, what really impressed me was the theme of justice running through every page. I'd been brought up as a Christian. I was a practicing Christian, and we're taught to love thy neighbour, do good deeds, be charitable, be kind. It's so easy to be all of those things. It's so easy to be nice to everybody. But to deliver justice in equal measure to both your enemy and your friend is not that easy.
Yeah, it is.
And yet here it is, you know, this perfect balance of justice through the pages of the Holy Quran. And of course the status of women.
Yeah.
Women are equal in spirituality, worth and education. So there is this perfect code for life, this decent, honourable way of living within the pages of this amazing book. And so what started out as an academic exercise, the fulfilment of a promise, very soon turned into a spiritual journey for me.
Right. Okay, Yvonne, but the thing that's inspiring me is that you remembered to keep your promise. It's a big deal. I mean, you could have just, you were released, you were out there free, just you could have just forgotten about it. Why you remembered that promise that, yes, I have to read Quran, yes, I've promised it?
I come from a part of England which I describe to the Taliban as the tribal areas of England, that little piece between Scotland and England. And, you know, people there, when they keep their word, they mean it. It's we come into this life with nothing, we go out with nothing other than our reputations and our word and our bond. And, you know, I believed that as a Christian. So I kept my word. But also as a journalist covering the Middle East and Asia, it was shocking that I knew so little about a faith which was clearly a way of life for people in that region.
Okay, and then you were a journalist when then you had lots of exposure as well, and then scientific approach, I'm sure. With all that, and with all that images on your mind, the way the people portray Islam, the way the people talk about Muslims, while you were reading Quran, what were your feelings? How was you seeing the world?
Well, I realised that I had been wearing a veil for many years, and that was a veil of bigotry. And that is, every time I saw a woman wearing a hijab or a veil or a scarf, I would write her off as some subjugated, oppressed, ignorant female.
Or some fundamentalist or extremist.
Well, just, you know, I just would look and see something quite different. Now, last night I was at a university in Rawalpindi where more than 200 young women had assembled, and they are the future doctors, lawyers, dentists, career women, IT workers, engineers. And, you know, they were incredibly amazing and wonderful examples of Muslim women. And I, you know, 7 years ago I would have written them off with one glance and just thought, oh, backward, primitive.